Hey everyone, look, I'm sorry about the dark lighting, but I needed to just show you something. What will happen is you will get a lot of runoff. I don't know if you can see it pooling there. Now, if that does worry you, what you could do is you could just take it outside or over a sink, lay your thingy-me-bob down so that, and then very gently pour it from one corner, so say like in there, just pour it out if you're worried. Okay, I'm not worried, but if you're worried, that's all you would need to do. And yeah, so I'm just about now to put this to the, to put it near my heater, not right next to it, but you know, further in its directional heat. And I've got two chairs where I'm going to straddle this so that it can sort of get a little bit of heat going underneath it and over the top of it. So yeah, there's about, I don't know how many feet. My feet aren't that big. I'll just count it for you. Yeah, about 6 feet away, maybe 7. So they're on a chair, and but I won't leave them like that overnight. Because you know, I want to be fire conscious, so be careful everyone that you look after yourselves. But I will sort of have it off to one side. We have the heater down low in the evening, so it is evening time, so it's about 5 o'clock now. So in the evening, and yeah, I'll be able to tell you how long it took for these papers to what's the word, cook without an oven. All right everyone, thank you. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey everyone, it's me, and it's about 8 o'clock in the evening. I've got this on 2 chairs that are, you know, where the heater is directing a lot of its heat and blowing out its hot air. I decided I would empty as much of the liquid as I could, and I'm just going to show you something. Hopefully it'll come through, but because most of the liquid's gone. Yeah, most of it's gone. But what you can actually do is you can swirl when you've got the liquid. I'll see if I can get up. There we go. You can probably see it there. There. Okay. So I did spill out quite a bit. I just thought, look, I would, just to speed things up. But if you can get it sort of like, let's see if we can get this done. You can start moving it around the water, the water around, but it's not going to do it now because I'm on video camera. But that's what I did. You can see these kind of bits there. Oh, by the way, what I did was I did add a couple more pieces. I wanted to sort of soak up some of the ends because there was a lot of moisture in there, and then I just added a couple on the top. And because I've been swirling it a lot, it kind of leaves these fantastic impressions. So that's the beauty of this. You can just move this around, and like I said, because I'm on camera now, it's not happening. But yeah, I was able to get the liquid from one end to the other, and it somehow got onto the top here and just sort of was swirling everywhere. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. So they're still very damp, and they've been here since just after 5 when I had filmed. So yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd show you that, and I did empty out as much as of the excess liquid, and that's what's really great about this. You know, you can always dip it out, and because these are quite firmly, they're still wet and they're firm, it allows you to pour it out without it all tipping out. But just be mindful that you be careful with that. So yeah, I just sort of swilled it to one side and pulled it into the sink, yeah, with no problems. All right then everyone, thank you so much, and I'll be back. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome. It's Jav here from Eddie Mirage. Excuse my little tripod legs. I just am in a different position the way it was presented yesterday, rather than being on the floor, because I was crouching. Yeah, I don't have the best sort of knees, but anyway, I thought I'll just sort of semi-stand. Or bend over rather than crouch. So today is, oh my goodness, I hope it is the 15th. I haven't even checked. Let me see. Yes, it's the 15th of May. It's a Wednesday. And it's now 11:30. I guess you probably can't see that. So it's about 11:30 in the morning. So this has been drying overnight since 5 o'clock last evening, or yesterday evening, and the top of the papers is starting to already pull away from themselves, so you can kind of gauge you know, how well they're drying when they're just starting to pull away. So I thought what I would do, now obviously you'll feel that it'll be cool or damp to the touch. So I'm just going to very carefully just pull away some of these and just show you some of the results. And over here I've got this. I'm just got that leaning over there, and I'm just going to lay some of those down over there. So these were sort of my last minute ones. Now what I mean by last minute, because there was so much water still hanging around, and when I was swirling it, it brought a lot of water back up on top, I used papers to mop up. So just rather than using paper towels, just try to think about using your own printing paper, your cheap printing paper to mop up. And this became a mop up, and I'm really excited with that as well. I'm going to go over to the other side, and we'll just sort of start peeling from. Okay, now this is starting to stick. If it is, just leave it. You can put your, if you need to, your heat gun or a hair dryer. But things will start to peel away. You just need to be careful. So yeah, if you're worried, just get your heat gun and just give it a really good burst over the top, and then remove what you can. If it's starting to feel like you can't, just give it another blow with your heat gun. But really, if you do just, if you are patient, I know, you know, sometimes we want everything now, but if you are patient, these will release themselves. But if you're having difficulty, just get your heat gun onto it. Okay, so there's another one. And okay, so now this is where people would start to get a little bit nervous, but if you're very gentle, see that? There you go. You can always have like a, you know how you've got your bone folder, or you know how you, well, I don't know if people have got envelope, what do we call those things? I just had it. Oh, well, it's an envelope opener, isn't it? Yeah, hello. Yeah, an envelope opener. I made one when I went to school. I'll just bring it to you. It's a little bit worse for wear, but when I did woodwork, it's at high school, early high school. Yeah, it's a bit, still parts of that is missing. But yeah, out of wood, we had to carve our own envelope opener, and I still use it to this day. It is so helpful. But these are the kind of, so you need a very fine kind of, you can probably, you know, it's a very fine finish, but you can use that to, you know, start creating a lip where you can actually then lift up your papers. So, yeah, I hope there's not too much shadow. Is there shadow? If I move that, yes, I better move that out of the way. If I move that out of the way, can you see? I hope there's not much shadow there. If I put that down there. So these are the kind of results that you can get just by layering in a limited spot. Now, so you're going to have to just remember what needs to come first. So I'm going to lift this up. Now it is still damp, but that's okay because I can leave it to dry elsewhere. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so that was the reason why I did this one and the other one. Oops, there goes the things. These were just my mop-up papers because there was so much of the liquid brew at the edges. I thought, well, I may as well make the most of it. So make the most of your brews. Now, I'm just realizing, yeah, so I'm sorry about the shadow, but I'll just sort of show you what it's looking like from there. I'm sorry about that shadow effect. I don't know how to fix it for you. Yeah, it's probably no good. Anyway, sorry about the shadow. Okay, so I'm going to now lift this one very gently. So like I said, if you're nervous that you're going to tear some of your papers, don't worry too much. See, I've got a little tear too. Look, sticky tape. Sticky tape is absolutely fine. Or you can use this to back your tags, you know, when you print things out. Or you can use them to tear and use in your collaging. So there's so many uses. Don't worry too much. And even if there is a bit of paper from some other paper on top, that adds to the interest as well. Because once again, it is a junk journal. It's not a professional book. You can try and make it look professional, but it's still handmade. Okay, now this is where it starts to get a bit scary. But like I said, either you get a heat gun onto it, or you're very, very gentle, just like I am. So I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. Yeah, so it still will need drying, but I can now put it, oops, haphazardly onto this board. That's what this board is for. So, and then you can just leave it on top. So say for example, sorry about that, just don't want to make your car sick. Okay, so say for example, you've got to the stage where, oh no, they're still quite damp, right? Don't worry about it. Just put the ones that you have harvested on top and walk away and then come back. Now, I don't think the colour is absolute. I think the lighting is actually washing out the colour of this. I hope it'll be different when it's uploaded, but the colours of this are absolutely a beautiful, rich, vintage colour. I mean, this is just so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And when I look through the viewfinder, it's almost bleached it out, which is such a shame. So I'm just assuring you that the coffee and the tea blended together really give it an amazing look. Alright, now my SD card is telling me I've got 30 seconds to go before I have to restart my videoing. So I'll come back. I'm back. Alright, so let's continue with this. Okay, So once again, very, very gently. Okay, there's another tear here, but I don't mind. Okay. Now, you can... So obviously you wouldn't be pulling these apart if they're super duper wet. This is quite dry to the touch. This is still damp. And like I said, you don't have to be doing it at this stage. You can be doing this when it's completely dry. And but the point is, you know, you'd have to wait a while to be able to, you know, grab them. So if you're too scared, don't worry. Now here, it might actually, no, it's okay. It's probably just, no, it's all right. So it's just a matter of gently pulling these away from each other. Just gently, gently. Okay. Now, I don't want to bore you, but if you're, oh, so there you go. See, I wasn't careful. Can you see that rip there? I wasn't careful. So I'm going to go in from the other angle, and I think it's really needs a bit more work. But other than that, check that out. This is where it gets so exciting to me. Look at the pattern. I will showcase this when they're completely dry so that you can see that. But look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Certainly pulling it away. But I wanted to mention that if you don't have any plastic things, use your stencils, okay? That's another way of just getting that effect. You don't have to have your plastic. You can use your plastic doilies. You can use your stencils, and I'm sure you've got plenty, and you can haphazardly put them here and there, and I'm sure they'll create a stunning effect. Okay, so so that's that side. I think I was talking about bubbles. If you want to get the bubble effect, you're going to get your mixture, your liquid mixture, and you're going to really give it a good shake so that it froths up, you know, a bit like a latte, I guess. I don't know much about coffees anyway, so it might not be a latte, but whatever. And then you spray it, and you can sort of even play with the nozzle, sort of, rather than spray properly, you can sort of almost create a bit of a bubbling effect just before you squirt it out. And that's the effect that I like to get with that too. So once again, here's the plastic that it's been leaning on. So really, you don't have to do any, what's the word? You don't have to do any stenciling, you know. I mean, you can if you want to, obviously, but yeah. So let's have a look at this. Oops, see, now it is getting a bit damp, and I didn't do it properly. I'm too busy chatting rather than concentrating. And it's a bit sticky there. It will get a bit sticky in places because that's what coffee does. But if you're very, very gentle, you can do okay. And even if a bit of the paper is left onto the other one, I still like that because I think it creates a bit of interest. So there's that one. Now that one, it didn't really show up the actual doily impression, but it's still given it a bit of interest. So put that there. How are we going now? So I think what I'll do, I'm gonna, yeah, there we go. Okay. So there's that one. And of course we'll look at these together when they're all definitely bone dry. So Okay, now this is a bit torn only because I don't know if you can see, but it is a bit of a mangled positioning. But I don't mind because you're always going to be using your papers for so many reasons. But I don't know if you can see that beautiful, very subtle impression. I love that. And see that kind of burnt edge effect? There was no oven used here, so you can still get that effect. Alright, so let's move this one off. Okay. Well, so if you want to have a look, I don't know if they sell these anymore. I got these like quite a few years ago, so yeah, I couldn't tell you how many years ago, but it's definitely more than 2 years ago, definitely. Okay, now got to be careful because it's very, this is now getting the, I'm getting to the very scary parts now because, yeah, so these I might have to come back to. Let's go on this side. Oh, wow. I do like that. I'll just put that over there. Okay. It is very damp. Well, not too damp. Okay, now if you're worried about the stickiness, that's the coffee. So if you don't want to have stickiness, try just the tea on its own, but make a heavy brew. Okay, so if I move that out of the way. Alright, see that there? See that? So you don't even have to ink around the edges. I mean, it's already done for you. Look at that. I really love that. So, yeah. Boy, I hope I'm focusing. I'm just, there's so many things to think about when you're doing tutorials. Yeah, see that kind of amazing indentation? So yeah, I just, that's what always gets me is the, I love this part when it all kind of, when all the water stuff gets there. A little bit like this, like I love that. And that's what I mean about, you know, you might have that excess liquid, but don't worry about excess liquid. It will thicken up your papers, but also it will pull around the edges of your paper and you can get that really inked effect. Okay, so let's just gently pull that off. We don't need that now. Where can I put it? Oh dear. Oh, look what was inside. Ah, you probably were screaming at me and saying, what are you doing? Okay. So, see now this is still damp. And that's why the impression hasn't picked up. It has on this side. So what we're going to do, because we're getting to that very damp stage, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to move it over to my heater because I'm in front of the window. I had hoped to get better lighting here. But of course, unfortunately, there's a shadow casting. But anyway, I'll get back to you guys to let these do their own little processing. So we don't want to compromise the effects that we've worked hard to get. So I'm going to move it over there and leave it for the rest of the day, and I'll come back to show you the results. Hey everyone, I'm back again. I know there's a bit of a shadow cast, but I'm in front of the heater, and so I'm in a different part of the room to where I was originally. It's now 5 o'clock on the 15th of May. Yesterday I had finished doing all my layering. So I'm just letting you know basically the time span of this. So the top layers are really quite dry, but as to be expected, the bottom is just a little bit cooler to the touch. So you are looking for a longer period, but like I said, you can use your heat gun if you're in a hurry to use your papers. And the other thing is, because these are such slim storage containers, if you were doing you know, almost like, you know, you needed a whole batch every day, obviously how many layers you do is going to depend. The higher the levels that you're going to do, the longer it will take to dry. Obviously the first will be a lot drier and as you go down, but if you needed to use lots of paper, you can always buy another one of these, and you can be, you know, starting one, and then while you're waiting for the other ones to dry, and then you can keep cycling them so that you always got your papers available. So let's have a look at what we've got now. Okay, so still a little bit damp to the touch. I hope you're all well. Okay, so this one, no, these are still a little bit damp, but I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put that over on that table there. Okay, so like I said, we'll look at this together when I get them to dry. The other ones, let me just show you. I dropped one. Okay, I'll just rest this here. Yeah, these are all nice and dry now. So I'll do that with you. I'll showcase them with you, and I'll do a before and after. What I'll do is I'll show you what they look like stacked, and then and when they're flattened. So we could do that. So what I'm going to do, because I need this to dry these, and they dry very, very fast because they're just, you know, damp to the touch. But no, not damp, just cool. Yeah, so they just need a little bit of extra time. So can I lean that there? Yes, I can. Beautiful. Sorry, just trying to make sure I don't drop anything here. Okay, so yep, see, that came off quite nicely. So the longer you leave it, the papers will release. They will release. So I hope this is in focus. I can go a little bit closer in. Let me just use my hand to focus. Okay. So yeah, really love that effect. But we'll have a very good close-up of it later. What I'll do, I will just take it out just a little bit, only because, let me see if I can focus again. Only because of that shadow thing. So that bit there, sorry, where my finger is pointing, that's the shadow bit, and I do apologize for that. So if I can sort of show you the papers away from that. Okay. So getting down to the bottom bit. Oh, look at that. And look at that. This is what I mean. So we'll look at that closely together. How it just gets really, really dark on the edges. That is so yummy. Okay. And we'll also count up how many pages. Okay, so this is where it starts to get a little bit scary. And if I feel like I'm going to damage it, then I'd leave it. But I'm going to just really, there we go. I have left a little bit of this paper behind, but not by much. So you can see it's glossy. And there's that one. But I do think it's time for me to start getting them all organised and dried. Okay. So yeah, still a little bit wet. How about we leave it? Yeah, we'll do a bit more tomorrow as the layers peel off. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll come back and continue it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my show and share. I'll see you around. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, I'm back again. So it is evening and it's now 15th of May and it's 7:30 and the heater has been going, and I've decided while my Windows is updating, because I'm always doing my graphics designing, I thought I'd just pop over and continue the unveiling or the delayering of what we've got here. So I'm just going to bring over the tray, well, the lid. It's the lid, obviously, where I can lay down my bits and pieces. So I'll put that in there. Hopefully it won't fall off. Okay, it's a bit precarious, but anyway, I decided to move my camera back a little bit so that we didn't get much of a shadow. So there we go with that one. I bet you this is going to be a huge video when I put it all together. Okay, so there's that one there. And I guess more to the point is really just lifting up from the areas, and so this is becoming quite easy actually. So we've got that, and you can just barely see the imprints, which I love. And so we've got this one, oops, so we've got that, and of course this is sort of very wet. But yeah, it really does give some really nice effects. So I'm going to move them over. And now we're getting to the bottom of our pile. And this will definitely be really the hardest part to remove, because it's almost like, you know, that. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So look at that incredible dark bit around there. Beautiful. So you can just see some of the impressions of the... I just love it when it's really subtle. I mean, I like it really intense, but when it's subtle, it's really pretty. And that's the other thing I was going to say. Is yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what I'm talking about today. It must be just getting late for me. Okay, isn't that interesting? You can actually see the effect there. Okay, let's now move over to here. And yep, so I do love the subtle, but I also love it when it's a lot heavier. So let's go in a little bit more. Just move this over, and I'll just try and see if we can get it in. Okay, so yeah, look at that beautiful pattern that it's left behind. So but when you lift this up, so we've done our layering, and that's that one. Look at that incredible yummy inking, and you can already feel it's a very heavy duty paper because it's really soaked up most of the moisture. But don't you just love things like that? So there's that one, and see, this is what gets so exciting when you haphazardly put down your plastics. You just get all these interesting effects and variations. Look at that. Love that. I really love that. Okay, so there's that, and that's the last one there. And once again, a bit of the dark edges there, and yeah, all these little effects. So I hope that's inspired you to give it a go, you know, to free up your space. this is how my approach to a coffee staining and tea staining is now. I mean, it is just so easy. Yep, you do have to spend a bit of time, but that would be the case with everything else. And like I said, you don't have to be using plastics. You can be using stencils, and you don't have to use stencils at all. You know, you don't have to use stencils either. So you can just do it this way. And the paper, and then one of the things that you can be doing is, like I showed you, you can be doing one of these thingies, and you can get some great effects that way. And the way that you hold your nozzle as well is the other thing. So yeah, so what I've just got here, I'm just putting these out so that the fire can, the heater I should say, can just blow on it and just dry them up. And when I catch up with you guys next, we'll do a show and share of a close-up, so you'll be able to get to see these amazing pieces up close and personal. Alright everyone, thank you so much for coming to my show and share. I really appreciate your company and taking the time to watch, and I wish you well. Alright, thank you everyone. Bye. Hey everyone, hi. It's Jav here from Medieval Mirage. Welcome back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, this is the yield of our papers, and I must admit I forgot to count them all up. But basically that's what we did with our, sorry, I've just put that there because I just thought it would look a little bit nicer if I'm doing a show and share. My other table part is just completely covered with all the other tutorials that I'm meant to be doing, and I just don't want to lose my place, so sorry about this. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was these up close and personal. So this was from the yield of the coffee staining or tea staining in a limited space. And I wanted to just show you these up close and personal so you can get a feel for it. Now my viewfinder is sort of showing them up as a very kind of a cold kind of a color, but I hope it'll be different when we have a look at them on, upload them. But yeah, it's kind of bleached them out a bit, whereas this is really quite a beautiful golden effect. Let me see what will happen if I turn my ceiling lights on, if that will do any difference. Probably not, but anyway, so you can see the incredible lace effects that are left behind, and how it can darken your edges as well. I hope everyone is well, and to all of those that support me regularly, thank you guys, and to my new subbies, welcome. And if you are new here and you would like to be doing more of these things, please do consider subscribing. It would be lovely to have your company. So, oh, I love this. So you can use this if you do a lot of collaging. So a big shout out to Rachel. Hey Rachel, from Roxy Creations. She has been doing a 100-day challenge, and she's really fantastic at collaging. And I know she rips up loads and loads of papers, but if you don't have any aged book pages, you can always create aged coffee staining. And then if you do use stencils in your coffee staining, just like I did with the lace doilies or the plastic doilies, you can use that as your backgrounds for your collaging. And of course you can make envelopes as well, which is super duper easy. So all you would have to do is that, or if you wanted it the other way and have that as your flap, you could do it that way. So yeah, I've been doing those kind of envelopes for a long time now, so I do use the coffee stain paper to do that. So have a look at this. You know, your inking is done in most cases. So yeah, so these are great for backgrounds and for your collaging, for lining your pockets, your tags, making envelopes. Oh my goodness, aside from using them as journal pages. So I hope you feel inspired to, there it is again, to try out. Oh, I have to say, I've got to go back to this one again and just share that with you. See, this is what I absolutely love. I love the different, it's not a uniform page. You've got your different imprints. You've got, you know, subtle to deeper, and then you've got, you know, that darker color. That to me is so exciting when it comes to digital papers. I mean, coffee stain papers. And then you've got that that inking bit there. So yeah, I hope it inspires you to consider getting a long storage container, plastic storage container, and having a go at coffee tea staining in a limited space. So that's the formula that I'm now basically using all the time. This is my go-to. I love how compact it is. It means I can now, where I would be coffee staining, I've got more crafting space, I guess. So yeah, it really is a solution for a lot of us. And I hope it'll benefit you guys. So you can hear the rustling of the paper. So it hasn't been oven dried at all. And I'm still getting really amazing impressions. See that there? This is like embossed. And this would have been one of the papers where I ran the paper towel over. And it does. You can feel the embossing on it. It's given it even that texture like that. So yeah. So see what your local supply place for crafts, if they've got plastic doilies, or like I said, if you've got stencils, then by all means go for it. Look how groovy that is. So it does require that you give it enough time to dry and peel off the layers one by one, taking your time. Don't panic. You can always have a heat gun or a hairdryer nearby just to kind of blow onto the parts that are a little bit stuck together. So yeah, I really love that. Oh my goodness, I really love that. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to provide some of these in my Etsy shop. I really should give you a whole batch of these so that if you don't have the time, oh yummy, if you don't have the time to even do a limited, you know, in a limited space coffee staining, at least then you can print them out. You know, and sometimes you get your favorites and you just go, oh no, this is the one I want to use all the time. Because that happens to me. I like to use different ones. So we've seen this one. Don't you just love this? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm almost out of time. So just remember, you're going to get heavy books. Okay. You're going to get heavy books to, oh yummy. Love it. you're going to get heavy books to flatten these down. Okay, and if I've got a moment, I'll do that with you. I probably am going to run out of time. Really love those. Really love that. Okay, so now you've had a look. This has probably bored you to tears, but at least it just gives you an idea. Now what I'm going to do, because I want a flat surface, I've just got this. I'm just going to put this underneath because I just want to have a flat surface. I don't want those ridges. So this is on top of our board. Once again, a limited space. And then you just get your heavy books and you put them on top. So I haven't got them right with me right now, but I'm going to possibly put one underneath there and the rest on the very top. So, hey everyone, I'm back again just quickly. So I'm going to flatten these down, but I wanted to let you know I actually measured them in centimeters. It's 5.5 centimeters high, and that means I'm not good at the inches side of things, but it's just not much under 2.5 inches, not much, just a bit under 2.5 centimeters. So just to give you an idea of how they fluff up. Okay, so I've got a hard book underneath. I decided to get a hard book, and make sure you have hard book covers that are larger than your paper size, and then you're just going to lay them down. Now let me just see. Yeah, beautiful. You can feel them going down. Okay, another one. And one more. Beautiful. Okay, so that's you know, 2 books at probably 3 inches. Oh, whoa. Oh my goodness. 3 inches. No, it's not 3 inches. This is sorry, 2.5 inches, but really heavy books. So so I've got 2 of those, and then of course that slimmer one, but it's a lot, it's the perfect size for my papers. So okay, it's now 12:15, 16th of May, and so these are going to be flattened, and I'll get back to showing you how low, how flat we could get them. Alright everyone, thank you. I'll see you around. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Jav here from Medieval Mirage. Welcome. I think since I last videotaped, it's been it could be 3 days now, and I do apologize that I haven't got back to you, but you know, life gets in the way. I have had other projects that I've had to kind of organize and film for you, and so we've also been shifting things around the house because we have been getting rid of a lot of stuff, and we've decided to move things around. And so this is why this might be 2 or 3 days late, because I was going to show you what the papers look like after they've been, you know, pressed against this. So I know over 24 hours you will get great results, but the longer you leave your papers under your books, your heavy books, or heavy tomes I should say, you are going to get amazing results with the Papers. So let's do that now. I'm just going to pull these big boys off, and this one, and there we go. So if you can, I'm sorry if there's a bit of a shadow there, I'm just not in a very good spot, but have a look at that. I mean, it really does, and I know it's probably there we go. It's flat. It really is flat, and I will measure it for you. Now, obviously, some pages will be a lot smoother than others if you wanted to put them through your printer, but if you're worried, all you would need to do is, I would just make sure that you get your iron just on the edges where it feeds into the printer. But other than that, you can already see how flat it's lying. There you go. It's just really beautiful. So let's measure this one. I'm not good with shouting out measurements. Now in inches, I'm just sorry, I don't want to be in your way, but okay, if I just press it down here. Wow, this is yeah, this is just a little bit over half an inch. Yeah, just a little bit over half an inch. So let's do it in centimeters to get something exact. It's 1.5 centimeters, or just a little bit over 1.5 centimeters. So I can't even remember how it was before. I think it was like 2.5 inches nearly, wasn't it? So we've really reduced it down without needing to iron every page, and they are gorgeous, and still you're getting that rustling sound, and beautiful. So everyone, that's the end of that particular formula on how to do coffee staining in a limited area by using just your plastic containers and layering them up. And you don't have to have plastic doilies if you don't want to, but if you want to save on time from stenciling or even inking up your edges, this is the perfect setup for you. And if you don't like, you know, occupying large areas with all your coffee staining papers, the box can be moved anywhere around the house or even outside. It just may mean it taking a bit longer, but you could always get 2 containers, one, and you could start off with one, and then when that's doing its drying, you can start a new batch in another container, so that by the time that, and you can rotate them, that's what I mean, you'll be able to rotate them, and they're so slim, they just don't take up any space really. So mine lives on top of the pantry at the moment, but it'll be on my craft cupboard soon, because we're reorganizing everything in the home. And yeah, so to everyone, thank you so much for coming to my show and share. It's always great to have your company, and I hope that wherever you are in your part of the world, that everything's going great for you, and all the very best. And yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support, and please take care of your wonderful selves. Thank you everyone. Enjoy your day. Bye.